Hey guys, I hope everybody's having a fantastic day. Whether you're watching this in the morning, in the afternoon, or in the evening, I'm glad you're here. Today I've got a cool review, long-term overview of a knife that some of you guys might be familiar with, but this is the new variation. Before we jump into it, I want to thank every one of my channel members. Thank you guys and gals. I appreciate you more than you know. And I'd also invite those of you who haven't had a chance to subscribe yet, please hit that subscribe button and that bell notification icon next to it. And I promise I'll keep EDC knife content coming your way. So this is the variant PE3, which is the third variation of the variant, which started out as a liner lock. Then it had a liner lock with this front flipper, and then it was upgraded to a titanium frame lock with an upgraded 20 CV blade with a deep hollow grind. And I think right now, in my opinion, it's just about the perfect EDC knife. To get into this knife a little bit, let's take a step back down memory lane and I'll break out my OG variant PE. Now, this was gifted to me by Sobeck Scooter when they first came out. This one was wearing G10 scales. It's in 14C 28N. It's a liner lock, not a frame lock. I added the titanium scales that I picked up from Qvist. But what you'll notice is it does not have that front tab extending, so it's not a front flipper. It is a flipper only knife, but it is very well tuned for both a thumb flick or for a middle finger flick. So fast forward, and they came out with the PE version 2, which was also, if I'm not mistaken, a liner lock, but it did have the secondary deployment with that extended blade tang to allow you to front flip it. So again, 14C 28N came with micarta or G10. You could buy the tie scales as an add-on. And then this refined version that just came out is titanium, titanium liner. The scale and the liner are actually built in together. It is a frame lock, so it's much lighter than this version, and we'll do some weights in a second. And then it's got this really deep hollow grind on this upgraded 20 CV blade. So if I were to break out one of my coupons from my coupon book, we will see that this knife is very thin behind the edge, has a great geometry, very slicey, allows you to get down to make those detail cuts because it's that Warncliffe blade. I just think it's a joy for an EDC urban knife. It really is up for the task that somebody like me is going to run it through, which is opening packages, maybe cutting a weed, maybe cutting string. But as you guys know, I am not a huge fan of front flippers. However, this front flipper is jimped very well. The jimping does great for blade jimping, but it's really designed there so that you can get full purchase of that front flipper tab if you're a front flipper person. So anywhere I get it from the front to the top here, it's going to fire out. If I like to do the reverse flick, it's going to fire out. However, I'm a thumb flicker guy, which I hate. That was kind of me being sarcastic. I'm a middle flicker guy, middle finger flicker guy, and this knife flicks fantastically. The detent is really well done. The action is very smooth and droppy. It's not guillotine droppy because it's a light blade, but it is very pleasurable to fidget with. The lock bar access is done very well. You can notice that you've got more chamfered out here than you do here. So it's a very easy stretch through to unlock the knife. Right now it's right about 30-40% lockup. But again, just guys, the detent just fires out. This knife Retailed, I picked it up at White Mountain Knives. They had all the configurations in stock except for the black and black. It was sold out. But this knife I want to say is $189 in titanium, 20 CV hollow grind, super well constructed. Let me see if I've got a lamp. There's going to be a review on this one coming up. But I don't know if you guys can see in there. Let's see. See all that weight relief inside that scale. There is no additional liner, unlike the older version, the PE2, when you added titanium scales, you put them over that steel liner. So anyway, it's a much lighter knife. It's a solid titanium 20 CV. I think it's a great representation of the Qvist variant. And if you guys are fans of the Qvist variant, um, like I am, I think this is a fantastic upgrade. I'm not a steel snob. The 14C is fine for me. The flat grind is even fine for me. But when you slice with this knife and then you slice with the hollow grind, I can hear and feel a very, very distinct difference. I love the way they treated the frame lock on this knife. I think it looks very elegant. It looks refined. You've got a really nice titanium clip, goes in and out of the pocket very well. You've got T6 hardware, excuse me, T8 hardware all the way around from your pivot to your body screw to your clip screw. You do have a reversible clip with a little titanium insert. This one is the bronze color, even though it's titanium with the black blade. The reason I picked that variation is A, it was available, and B, it was matchy-matchy with my little Qvist Vanish, which is also 20 CV, also a hollow grind, but it's a slip joint. So yeah, guys, I'm smitten with these little knives. This is one of my favorite modern slip joints because it's got such good walk and talk, and it's so kind of out of sight, out of mind when I have it in my pocket. This knife here is been a joy to carry, just like the Qvist original variant was. I like this one more, even though I'm not a front flipper guy. I like it because it feels more refined. It's lighter to the touch. The titanium in my hand feels really good, and the detent is dialed to perfection. So let's do a couple of real quick size comparisons, and we won't look at the Cold Steel 4 Max. We'll look at some knives that might be more easy to relate with, like the Benchmade Bug Out. You'll see that the Qvist is about a ½ inch shorter than the Bug Out. Look at it next to the Mini Bug Out, and you'll see it's about a ½ inch longer than the Mini Bug Out. One thing you're probably noticing if you haven't handled a Qvist variant or Qvist variant or Qvist is the ergonomics look a little bit odd, but they fit the hand very, very well. A lot of people wondered how that cutout was going to fit and translate when you're doing a lot of cuts. I've processed a lot of cardboard with this knife, and I can tell you that this is a very comfortable knife to use. It's very light, it's very thin, but it does give you a really good grip. So let's get some quick dimensions off of it using the Javon promotional ruler. 7 inches overall. The blade is going to come in right at 3 inches. Handle is going to come in right at 4 inches. If I want to look at where I grip this knife, which is up to that forward choil, which is a flat choil, that gives me about 4 inches of grip. If you like to be more conservative with your grip, you can say 3 3/4 inches. But this guy, unlike, let's look at it next to the original variant, because I have a feeling the blade stock is going to be slightly thicker, but let's see. All right, our base blade stock on the old school VE PE is 0.1225. On the PE3, 0.1205. And I think where we're going to see the difference is this thickness behind the edge. So if I go right above that sharpening bevel, I come in at 0.0260. If I find that sharpening bevel on this hollow grind, whoops, I missed it, 0.0180. So yes, definitely a thinner knife. I have a feeling they're both going to be the exact same thickness. However, the titanium might come in a little thinner because it doesn't have the scales, 0.42 on the OG, 0.4140 on the titanium. So yeah, the scale makes this one just ever so slightly thicker, and it is a liner lock. This one is a frame lock with a front flipper, with a hologram blade that is just very easy to manipulate, non-threatening. I think has a very utilitarian blade shape. Um, just a great knife, guys. Let's do one last little test and let's see how much lighter it is. First of all, how light it is. So the variant PE3 is 2.9 ounces. That's a 3-inch blade, guys. And this is the variant PE, 4.20 ounces. So it is indeed a good bit lighter, but not much of a less knife. It's just, I think, designed, refined, and has evolved a little further. I was really, really stoked at first. I was a little bit perplexed when Justin came out with the Vanish. I wasn't a slip joint guy, and I didn't really understand the Vanish that much. I had this one that Sobek Scooter had given me, and I really enjoyed it. But ever since this little bean came into my life, and now this little larger bean that's in a nice frame lock came into my life, I am really digging these knives. I am carry both of them quite often. I can highly, highly recommend it if it's your jam. I know it's a unique knife. If you go to White Mountain Knives, they have a couple of these in stock. I know they have the raw titanium, I believe, and the bronze with the black blade. If you use the code Javon10, JUHVON 10. It'll save you 10% off of the Vanish 3E. And if there's a color that you would rather have that's not in stock, all you gotta do is throw an email in there. You don't have to register for the site. Just drop your email. And when they come back in stock, you'll get an automated email alerting you to let you know it's in stock. Then you can go back and use my code and get the knife you want. Guys, thank you so much for taking the time to look at this QEV3 Vanish. I'm really excited about it. I think it's the best Vanish yet by a stretch. I enjoy it. I'm going to put it right back in my pocket. I'll throw the OG one up here for you guys to look at as I ask you, as I always do, to please, please, please look out for the guy or gal to your left. Please, please, please look out for the guy or gal to your right. Please look out for each other. Go forward with love in your heart. Choose debate, not hate. I love you all. Peace.